What up?
T-Dog.
What up?
What up?
E-Dog. You're E-Dog the E-Boy.
E-Dog the E-Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Please let me know what that means.
Well, you, E-Dog, a man, a boy with a dog in you,
I am a
Eric.
dog. I am a dog.
You're a filthy dog. But you're also a boy. You're an E-Boy because you are recording this podcast virtually with me. You're in your electronic booth talking to me via your wireless headphones. Nothing says E-Boy more than over-ear headphones.
I disagree. I think like having a distressed dad cap on, and a toothpick are pretty like E-Boy-esque to me. But nonetheless, we are both here in the booth, Ty, and I'm sipping on a gin smash.
Mm.
It's got lemon and mint in it.
Mm. I have dabbled with these gin smashes before. I'm also sipping on some lemon fluid, but my lemon fluid is simply ice cold water from the hotel lobby in which I am recording at. Um,
Nice.
so that's a gin smash, is what you're calling that. Like
It's what it's called. It's
this,
what it's called. I'm not calling it that. I'm simply respecting its given name.
so they smash the gin, or do you get smashed drinking it? What does the smash have to do with it?
I think it's actually a third one. It's, enough of these and you'll smash anything.
Mm. Turn a 6 into a 10 real quick. What's that Drake lyric? Flip that 6 upside down. I'm a 9 now.
Yeah, Drake was actually just 5 white wines deep.
Yeah.
A great way to justify your club antics.
No
Um,
kidding.
yeah,
I
dude.
was I was drinking a similar beverage. Well, not that similar, but it was. Have you ever had ranch water, Eric? Ranch water?
Ranch water. Is that when you like order a foot long and then you ask the server, "Hey, can I get the ranch?" And then they didn't shake it before putting on your sandwich, so like a layer of water just sits on there.
Dude, nothing grosses me out more than the little bit of like condiment little pre-drizzle, Like the mustard bottle is infamous for that. You like flip the mustard bottle upside down and you get like
Mm-hmm.
the world's most putrid looking yellow fluid pop out.
Mm.
Ketchup is the same.
Ketchup is the worst for that, I think, because every single time you flip that Heinz bottle upside down, you get like this like pink liquid drop out, and
Mm-hmm.
it's enough to make you throw up.
Yeah, dude. I'm surprised that in our society we actually don't have a term for this little like pre-drizzle. I could
Hmm.
definitely allude it to other fluid that comes a little bit early, but I I feel like there's got to be something universally approachable that describes the that dissatisfying fluid. Maybe it's
Yeah,
ranch water.
it's probably ranch water. So, is this a drink that you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah. So I think this is a drink of like Texan origin, perhaps, but all of the cans that I've purchased have more of like a pseudo Mexican vibe to them. So it's somewhere South by Southwest energy, Baja California in there. If I had to pick a region of origin, ranch water in particular is tequila, club soda, and lime, and you mix all that together. Get a little kind of like a White Claw, but with tequila.
Wait a second. Doesn't that
You
sound?
follow?
This sounds like eerily familiar. This is a tequila soda, Thai.
Well, maybe tequila soda is going through a glow up and would now like to be referred to as ranch water.
I don't think if you asked any Mexican tequila distributor if they want their drink to be called ranch water, they would say yes. They'd probably say something like "que," um, but yeah, dude, that sounds like a kind of like a redneck spin on it. So I'm waiting for you to like let us know what else is going in here, like maybe a splash of Mountain Dew, Dew for short, or some other like cursed, forbidden like soft drink of choice in those southern states.
Well, this is the beauty of the ranch water, Eric, is that the only thing you need to add is a toothpick to your mouth and a distressed hat, and it just looks like you got off your shift of repairing agricultural equipment, and now you're enjoying a fresh can of ranch water because you're watching your weight.
You're watching your weight.
It doesn't need anything more. You don't need the code red ranch water. You just need it's pure, simple.
Simple. I like to keep my drinks simple and my drink names even simpler, Ty. I'll be sticking to tequila soda. Um, you sound like one of those like Silicon Valley bros who's wanting to disrupt like bars or
Yeah,
something.
dude.
And now it's like everything has to have a name. It's like we already have that, Ty.
I totally get that. Like, be wary of somebody whose only accomplishment is changing the name of something, which is why I'm always wary of like Subway HQ because they took the exact same set of ingredients and rebranded every single sandwich as something just more outrageous.
You're absolutely right, Ty.
Like they're
I'm
just trying to
almost
stir up
ashamed.
controversy. They're like the modern media.
They really are. And I'm almost ashamed to get into it, Ty, but you may notice that I'm still burping. It's not this gin smash that's causing me to burp, Ty. It's because I just ingested 12 inches of sandwich mere minutes before this podcast.
I
And
did when we logged on, I did see you licking your fingers, which
yeah,
is
that's right.
evidence that something just went down the gullet.
You're absolutely right. Fuck's sake.
So, tell
Yeah,
me a
I
little
mean
bit more about this. Yeah.
we can get into that, Ty. Once again, it was a regretful experience.
No
But to
way.
be honest, well, the last time, Ty, me and you went to Subway, I feel like that like propelled our night forward. You know what I
Mhm,
mean? It was
mhm,
like a catalyst to more good things. It
mhm.
enabled us to have even more fun that night.
Yeah.
Um, as well as the time before that where I've, taken the ordering into my own hands. But today, Ty, I wanted to get a little bit more experimental, and I
Dangerous.
think I might have OD'd on some meat today.
Oh, dude. Did you get into the meatballs? Were you in the lab with the meatballs?
Who is Ball?
Who is Ball? Yeah.
Oh fuck. Um, yeah, I had a 6-inch meatball tie, and I didn't stop there. I got another 6-inch of the new brisket.
Wait, brisket? Hold up. What do you mean brisket? Like a brisket of meat in a sandwich between bread?
Well, I don't know if you would call it a brisket of meat, but you might call it a beef brisket.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Cow. A
Cow, a
a a
different way to slice the cow.
a cattle brisky.
Yeah.
Familiar with those. It's a perfect beverage pairing with a cow brisket, Eric. You know what it is? Ranch water.
No, I thought you were gonna say some brisk iced tea.
That would have been more punny.
It would have been. But Ty, I got to get into this with you because I fucked up my order. I actually I fucked it up. I panicked. It was late in the veggie selection, and I just like goofed the entire order.
Dude, you done goofed that order the minute you said meatball.
um, yeah, you're probably right. But to be fair, I'd never said the word meatball. I instead ordered the meatballer, Thai, which also comes with slices of salami.
Mm, interesting. Do they wrap the meatball in the salami like a little testicular pocket, or is it
um,
layered on, kind of folded over?
fuck. Just hearing this episode back tomorrow morning, I'm gonna be like so depressed for the whole week. Um, but no, I learned that they cover it, almost like a shelter in place for the meatball. You know what I mean? You have the little meatball
Mm,
sitting on top of the bread, and then the slice of pepperoni on top. And I think what it does is protects it from bursting through the side of the bread that's thinner.
Right, right, right. It reminds
Hmm.
me of when I was at the grocery store and the produce employee was putting the blanket over top of the potatoes for the end of the night. It's kind of what they're
I've
doing with the
literally done that
salami.
job, Ty.
Yeah,
I've
dude.
literally
Remember
had to tuck in the potato at night.
I literally last time I saw that happen, and I said to the high school aged man, I said, "Do you say goodnight to them too?" And he like got all like freaked out. Fucking what a freak I be. But
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
so you tuck the sandwich artist tucks the meatball in under the little
Yeah.
salami duvet.
Yeah. If there's any listeners that want to steal a free potato sack from Save on Foods, you can do so by just going to where the potatoes are, and they're stored underneath the shelf. So
Mm,
go in there, grab a sack of potatoes, or just a sack actually, but nice burlap material. You could
hmm.
probably make a nice garment out of that if you wanted to.
Perhaps a rug. Yeah, that's a great
Perhaps a rug.
great tip, Eric, for the listeners.
You're
Um,
welcome.
what what drove you to crave the ball today? Like,
Ah,
what was
Ty.
the job story that incentivized you to like, at a certain point, you said, "The meatball is the thing I need." You thought that, but why? W Walk me through this. Walk me through the motive.
Ah, Ty, the motive, I was in a deep state of sadness, I guess. I'm not sure. Something came over me where I felt like I need to fill a void with um, like 1,200 grams of protein.
Mhm,
Um, but to be fair and honest with the listeners, I actually received a coupon book for Subway in the mail not too long ago. And listeners will know that I've used the only footlong code on there already. And so all I had left at my disposal was either $4 off the brisket or um, buy one and get one 6 inch for $2. So I said, fuck it. Let me get this sampler.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, like, desperate time people will do crazy things to save money, and it's good to know that you're not above that.
Yeah. I mean, I could have just gotten two of the Italian, which I wouldn't normally do. If I was like, with someone, if I had to like protect my image in front of somebody, I probably would have
Mm,
ordered the two Italians. Kind of like a
mm,
Mario and Luigi situation. But I was in a vulnerable place, and when the friendly Sri Lankan sandwich artist looked me in the eyes, he had beautiful green eyes. Ty, I just couldn't
mm,
think after I saw him. I was like, you know what? We gotta move forward with this meat order.
just a couple of cucumber pupils.
Exactly. So I don't even know where to go with this. Oh, I'll tell you how I fucked it up. So
Yeah.
obviously I got them both toasted, and then I couldn't see like which ones went into the toaster in what orientation. Like when he pulled them out, I had no clue which sandwich was which.
Mhm,
And I needed to like make sure to curate each one for its like most optimal veggie pairing.
mhm, mhm.
And I immediately fucked it up because I said, that one, let's run that one through the motherfucking garden.
Oh,
And
yeah.
by accident, I had pointed to the meatball.
Oh, no, dude.
Yeah, so already this was a huge mistake, because we all know the meatball is already, there's no space for anything, let alone all of the vegetables.
Hell yeah, that's one dance they're not getting invited to, those veggies.
Hmm.
A meatball.
God damn it. Meat gala.
Okay, the meat gala. So, I know this to be a mistake for 2 reasons. One, because simple ergonomics, the vegetables, there's no space in there. It's a cramped one-bedroom suite, that 6-inch sandwich, with, already 3 meatballs as roommates, and then you got the new veg moving in. The second reason being simply the flavor profile just don't go, you know? Like, that meatball is such a intense, like, singularity of a flavor, and then you try to like add like green peppers to that or like cucumber, and they just they just get bulldozed. You know, you're kind of
Mm.
wasting your time, even wasting resources.
Yeah. Not only flavor tie, but also texture. And I'll summarize that in two words: Sog City.
Damn, I believe it. You're making your own ranch water out of just like the goop from that sandwich.
Imagine how twisted
Disgusting.
it would be if I added ranch. um, Honestly, that might have saved it, but instead, I was like, "Fuck! I'll add just one sauce." I went with sriracha on the
Smart.
meatball. Not a bad choice. I'll live with that one.
Hmm.
But then on the brisket tie, I went with smoky honey mustard,
Ooh, that's a
and
really daring but clever pairing.
yeah, it is what they recommended on the wall. And
Oh,
I think it'll be the last time I'll listen to any recommendation. And I also got the barbecue. So a lot of
see, what do you?
sweet, a lot of tang.
If you think about it, it's like, yeah, dude, you took your recommendation from a wall. Of course, it was gonna be bad.
Subway HQ simply does not know how to make a sandwich, surprisingly.
Believe it or
Um,
not.
but I mean, I think he just went a little bit overboard because he like squirted the mustard in one thick line all the way across, and then just looked up at me and was like, "Did I do good?" I was like, "No, you didn't do good."
uh, like when a child draws a picture and asks dad to put it on the fridge, the sandwich artist stares at you wantingly.
And Dad's like, "I'm sorry, son. This is a minimal home. We don't put
Yeah,
art anywhere."
yeah.
Do
When
you
you can
think we're
afford a
gonna
frame, you can put this up.
exactly? Do you think we're gonna like ruin our stainless steel fridge with this bullshit macaroni art?
Hmm. Yeah, it, the Smeg needs to have a pure facade for kitchen photos later
hmm You're absolutely
for
right.
mommy's YouTube cooking channel.
Absolutely right, Ty. So I don't know if I'll get either of those things again. It was like just a little bit too much. I couldn't handle it.
Dude,
Too
it's
much
so heavy.
too many balls for me.
And honestly, like when you get into like the extremist meats, their flavors are just so intense and their quantity is just so overwhelming that in order to compensate for that with anything else on the menu, you just have to make an intensely maximalist sub that just obliterates your body. Like it's kind of like um nuclear war in that sense, you know? And you're in an arms race with your own sandwich. It's your body versus that sandwich, and you got to start bulking up to take it down.
hmm
I don't think I think that's a zero sum game, Eric. Like you're not going to win if you go for the heavy hitters, the sluggers.
They are making me sluggish.
Yeah,
Um,
that's why they're called sluggers.
yeah. Fuck. Dude, I can barely like breathe right now. I feel like so nasty.
Yo,
Um,
I feel you, dude. I'm also in post lunch recovery. I'm currently calling in from a resort in the Okanagan of British Columbia for the non Canadian listeners. That's like the Napa of Vancouver. uh, my the set went out to the vineyards today while I was busy prepping for this call. Um, Brought me back some Catchaway Peppy. Vineyards, they understand food. They're like they're like one with the the ground, you know? They're closer to the earth than most even closer to Subway. And I would say the Subway's like counter runs a little lower than most restaurants, physically closer to the ground. But like I think about other restaurants and they're like, how are they able to make good food when they're like hundreds of kilometers away from the closest farm? You know? It's like they're out of touch with
mhm.
nature.
Yeah, you're right. Sometimes, my feedback to these sandwich artists is like, "Son, you got to go out there and touch some grass."
Yeah. Go pull your own veggies from the garden and see how it's done.
hmm You know,
But
my building tie has a little communal garden that
mm,
each tenant or a resident can, via a lottery system, opt in to, book a little lot and then grow their own veggies.
Mm.
And every day I see the same old couple watering their tomatoes, and it just warms my heart, Ty. That's all.
It's so cute that they would be willing to waste so much of what little life they have left on a tomato plant. Like a bit sad actually, but cute at the same
Potentially
time.
a little sad, but it is fueling their senior urge to care for something, you know?
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
presumably they are empty nesters, so taking care of this tomato plant is probably the closest they can get.
dude, yeah, the grandparental urge to look after a garden, like, really, if you want, um, a delicate touch, attention to detail, and truly a caring sandwich artist, I think we need to reemploy our senior citizens. Like,
Wow.
pensions are running out, like, inflation's running
Hmm.
rampant. I think we have a
Hmm.
case here to get them out of retirement and get them behind the sneeze guard.
And those old folks be sneezing a lot.
Yeah, dude. Also a case to double paying the sneeze guard. We need to, run it on both sides, protect the vegetables, but they would care for the vegetables. They would probably find ways to keep the buckets fresher, ensure that you get the ripest slice, layered over top of your meatball.
Hmm. I already know that
Mhm.
Subway would improve so much if there was a Nona making my meatball sandwich.
Mhm.
I feel like it would be made with such care, you know?
Mhm. Dude, yeah, I feel like the Nonas are so good at cooking, not because they have years of experience, but because they spend so much time with their hands and knees on the earth. Like, all Nonas run a garden. They run themselves through the garden.
Yeah, dude. My
Every morning,
Nona's
you know?
been ran through by the garden, you know?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Uh,
Hell yeah.
so I think about, like, places that have notoriously bad food, and they're usually because they are completely out of touch with the earth, you know? Like, think about a fast food restaurant that isn't Subway. Or think about, like, a good example is a craft brewery. Like, I've been going to a lot of vineyards. They make alcohol primarily, but they have great food. Craft breweries, on the other hand, they're trying to, like, elevate beer, and they're like, "This is my triple hopped, like, pine needle infused saison. You're gonna really like it." But then their food pairing is like beef jerky, you know? It's kind of crazy that, like, they could like, be so deep in the hole about the fluid and then so oblivious about the food. You think that good taste would supersede any particular niche.
Well, I actually kind of disagree, Ty. I like my dusty old bars to be void of any food because I feel like once you start going down that path, it's like you really need to like invest in it for it to be worthwhile.
Mhm.
And if you're making beer and drinking beer, you're just enjoying the beer. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like so filling that like you can't even drink a beer and eat at the same time. It's
Mhm.
like I just want to sit here and drink and like I only have money for a glass of beer or a burger, and I'm
Mhm.
not having both, so I'm going for the beer
It's a
every
good
time.
point. This whole burger and beer combo thing is no one asked for that. Like, I wanna keep them segregated.
That's right, beers only.
Beers only. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess, like, where Where I was really going with that though is that, you'd think that taste is something that once honed in, can then be reapplied to other facets. Like, if you have a taste for beer, you should be able to reappropriate that taste for the food as well as wineries do. But then I think about the sandwich artist, a jack of all arts, if you will, who is refining their taste for footlongs, yet unable well, maybe they I've never really asked a sandwich artist what their, like, creative outlet of choice is. It's clearly not their job because that's not my creative outlet of choice. Um, Podcasting's just a job to me, Eric.
Damn, dude.
You know what I mean? Like, so like you could assume that like a bad sandwich artist just probably has bad taste in other creative enterprises,
I
and
mean,
that a
it's not
good
a
one would
stretch.
have good taste.
It's not really a hot take at all, Ty.
I, I realize that I'm preaching the obvious right now, but I think what I'm trying to do is reach deeper to understand why. Why, Eric? When you practice the same thing inch after inch, foot after foot, every single day, you can't produce an artifact of quality.
We'll replace inch with podcast episode, and I think you have your answer.
Damn,
Damn.
that's a really good point.
Yeah, dude.
242 episodes, and this podcast is still, um, I would say upper mids to lower mids, depending on the day.
Yeah, it's in the 8-inch range.
Yeah. uh,
Yeah, it's an 8 out of 12, which we'll take, you know.
mhm.
Um, but Ty, I just remembered something that happened at Subway on my way out, and I thought this was newsworthy for the episode.
Hit me.
Um, so obviously, I went in after lunch rush, which is my new go-to. Um, so I was there alone. Well, mostly alone. There's one like Ukrainian chick on the phone, um, but I like felt the draft behind me, and I looked, and the door had swung open, and in walks a police officer.
Wow. In the flesh.
It's it's amazing how often this happens, Ty. They also eat at Subway. They're people too.
Mhm.
Um, and I was just like paying for my order while this cop was making his way to the front, and he says to the sandwich artist, "It's like, hey, I placed a catering order."
Whoa, whole squad's getting fed.
Yeah, dude, the whole squadron is fucking going in on a 50-foot sandwich. Um,
Wow.
and he's like, I actually placed a catering order, and I just wanted to make sure that you got it because I never got a confirmation email. So,
Mm.
so Ty, this is what our tax money is going towards. This guy is, instead of calling the subway, he drove to it, parked the squad whip, and walked
Yo,
into the way and wanted to get a confirmation, verbal confirmation of his catering order.
that makes sense. You have to say that you understand your rights, right? Verbally. It's kind of the same
Yeah,
thing. Um,
exactly. You have the
dude, I don't know.
right to remain hungry.
Yeah. I don't know why this is such a funny, like, visual in my head of, like, a police officer checking their email. Like, grow up, you know? Like, I don't even check my email. Like
Well, clearly he didn't, and that's why he was like, "Ah, shit!" Like, you know, our precinct is having a huge bash on Saturday, and I got to make sure that my party
Mhm.
sub is order is going to be fulfilled.
Yeah, dude.
Oh
I'm sure
shit!
you're familiar with bashing things, that's for sure. Um,
Absolutely.
damn, that's crazy. So, okay, as a sandwich artist, it's intimidating to have someone like you, Eric, who has kind of a militant, easy aesthetic, ordering a sandwich because you're very stoic and a little unpredictable. But
Hmm.
imagine how much your palms would be sweating under your plastic gloves if you were making the sandwich of the police chief, or perhaps just any of our boys in blue, because there's just so much more pressure. They literally have a gun with them, and they're
Oh
giving
fuck.
you commands. Like, that would just make my heart race faster than the tuna makes my body feel.
Hmm.
It would just be it'd be very anxiety ridden.
Hmm. Yeah, it's like a
Mhm.
weird thing because even as just a bystander, an innocent pedestrian, a witness, if you will, in this subway, I felt like um, a tad nervousness. You know what I mean? It's like if anything happens, I have to give a witness statement at this point. It's
Yeah,
like if this
totally.
cop abuses his rights, then I'm the one who's going to be in court being like, "That's the one. I saw it go down."
Mhm.
Um, Yeah,
You're like inadvertently a part of a jury.
exactly. And in addition to that, I'm also suddenly extremely aware of my presence, my own presence, right? I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh crap, I better not look like I'm up to anything shady. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I actually exchanged eye contact with this cop a couple times, once in the subway and then one time leaving the subway. And I was like, oh crap, I better like put my seatbelt on or something. You know what I mean? I might get pulled over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. You're really endangering yourself because I'm sure over the years of living recklessly and being a podcaster has created some bad habits that
Absolutely.
the 12 inches wouldn't really like.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a chance that he heard our takeoff episode and wanted us to I wanted to arrest me on the spot.
Damn. Yeah.
That's why we keep this podcast anonymous, guys. It's so that we
Hmm.
can, drop ship creamers and also say things we want to say.
We are our own witness protection program. In this case, Eric
Exactly.
witnessed quite the affair in Subway today. So,
Hmm.
did
I
okay?
call I
You
call
have to
Subway
close
actually a fitness neglection program.
the fitness neglection program. Damn, that is good. Wow. Um, you have to close the loop for the redheads, though, Eric. Did the officer get confirmation that his party sub would be toasted and ready to go in time for the block watch/block party?
Mm. Um, well, as soon as he opened his mouth and started talking, I think the sandwich artist, who I've seen every single time I've gone there, I think he might own the place.
Mm,
He was immediately trying to diffuse the situation and was like, "Oh no, 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 we got it. Don't worry." Very
mhm,
frantically reassuring the police officer
mhm,
that it's okay. We received the order, and the boys in blue are gonna have a great time this weekend. Don't worry about it.
mm,
Um, I didn't get to stick around for the entire conversation because I left as soon as I paid for my sandwich. As we know, the clock started ticking as
mhm.
soon as I tapped the Amex. So I had to get home as fast as possible in order to consume this meatball sub.
Gobble, gobble. So,
Yeah.
sandwich artist made 2 mistakes. One, he got frantic. You wanna keep your cool in front of the cops or they'll tase you. And the second thing is he didn't, adhere to his own right to remain silent. If I was that sandwich artist, I would not have answered the question without my lawyer present just to
Yeah,
protect
that's right.
myself. So, a few missteps there. I'm glad that he got out of that situation unharmed and uncuffed.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
I did when I left, I did sit in my car for 10 seconds just to keep an eye on my friend in the store.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, if I have to come back to this place, who's going to make my sandwich? So I
It's
had
true.
to make sure he was all good. But
Mhm.
you already know they got the shotgun under the line, ready to go at a moment's notice if a
Yeah,
shootout were
dude.
to take place.
The grocery stores got potato sacks, Subway's got Glocks. Crazy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, King, this has been a fabulous episode. I think I'm gonna go try to rent a Ski-Doo or perhaps do a tasting flight at a vineyard.
Hmm.
Clearly things that are more important than podcasting. So I
Hmm.
best be on my way.
Yep, much more important. I'm probably gonna get another gin smash going,
Mhm.
and probably watch some basketball, and that'll be my
Hell yeah.
evening.
Hell yeah, brother. Alrighty. Breadheads, thank you for tuning in. It's been wonderful chatting to you. Um, if you ever want to chat back, chirp us, whatever, hit us in the DMs on Instagram. We love to hear what you think of the cast. Other than that, think fresh, everybody.
Think fresh. Peace.
Ciao.